Welcome back. This particular video is part of Azure Fundamental Exam Preparation Series. So this Azure AZ 900 exam will be covered in 7 parts. Each part of this session will be around 30 minutes, okay, not more than that. And when you want to appear for this exam, under Azure Fundamental Exam, so you will be measured against these 3 skills, okay, which is very basic. So if you'll read through these 3 line items, it is just asking about describing cloud concept, describing Azure management. Welcome back. This particular session is part of Azure Fundamental Exam Preparation Series, and this is part 1 of that. And if you want to appear for Azure Fundamental Exam, there are 3 different skills that will be measured against. The very basic one is the cloud concept understanding, and you should have an understanding about Azure management and governance, then Azure architecture and services. So if you look at the percentage of each of these skills, around 25 to 30% of the questions will be coming from cloud concept, 30 to 30% from management and governance, 35 to 40% from architecture and services. In this Azure fundamental exam, earlier it used to be around 45 to 50 question and the exam time used to be 60 minutes. Now they have changed it to 36 question and 45 minutes. Overall, the pre-survey and the post-survey, all these stuff, it takes around 65 minutes, but the exam is just 45-minute exam. Okay, and if you can look at it here, so for cloud concepts, you might get up to 10 questions, from 8 to 10 questions, and management and governance will be 10 to 12 questions. Architecture and services will be 12 to 14 questions. So I'm planning to cover these in 7 different parts. The first set will be in 2 parts, and the second one will be in another 2 parts, and the last architecture and services will be covered in 3 parts. So overall, all these parts put together, it will be not more than 3 hours. So it will be 6 parts of 30 minutes each, and one part might be a little lengthy. Okay, so if you want to appear for any Microsoft exams or certification, the maximum score that you can score is 1000, and if you are scoring 70%, which is 700 out of 1000, you are considered as passing that exam, right? And the passing score, the calculation is dependent on different exams, so it is based on the difficulty of the question, knowledge and skills. So the measurement is a little different between each examination. So now let's go and look at some of the questions that comes around the cloud concepts and some of these areas. So the very first question is, your company Azure subscription is currently basic support plan. They would like to request an assessment of an Azure environment design. So they want this assessment to be done by Microsoft. This is, however, not supported by the existing support plan. Yeah, so basic support plan does not cover architecture, design reviews and all. And this particular company, they would like to upgrade their plan, but they also want to keep the cost in minimum. So there are 4 different plans which the basic plan can upgrade towards: developer plan, standard, professional, direct and premier. See, developer and standard, so there is no guidance or architectural design review guidance available in these 2 plans. So architectural design review governance is available in professional, direct and premier support plan. But out of these 2, if you want to keep the expenses minimum, then professional direct plan is the right answer. So if I go to the console here and show you how it looks like, see, if you go to your Azure login, if you go to help and support, under support plans, you can understand what support plan you are currently subscribed to or entitled to. Currently you are on basic support plan. Definitely basic support plan does not give you architectural support, and also it doesn't give you architectural design review. So architectural guidance based on the best practices, review and all those things are available in professional direct or enterprise agreement plans like premier or unified plan. See, if you look at the professional direct plan, this comes around $1,000 per month, and the enterprise agreement premier plan, it is 15 times like it is $15,000 per month. Actually, it is very costly. So they want to get the architectural design review to be done. So if that is the case, then we need to go with professional direct. That is the correct answer. So next one, you are tasked with deploying Azure virtual machine for your company. You need to make sure you make use of the appropriate cloud deployment solution. See, if you want to deploy virtual machine from your organization, then out of these three service model, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, only infrastructure as a service allows the customer to deploy the virtual machine. So the answer for this is infrastructure as a service. So if you look at here, these are the ones which customer manages. Under infrastructure as a service, we can deploy and manage virtual machine, OS, runtime, and all those things. In platform as a service, we just manage only the application and data. In software as a service, we only have access to data and access. So answer is infrastructure as a service. Next one, your company is planning to migrate all their virtual machines to an Azure pay-as-you-go subscription model, and the virtual machines are currently hosted on Hyper-V in the on-premises data center. You are required to make sure that the intended Azure solution uses the correct expenditure model. See, in the on-premises data center, you are responsible for building the data center, purchasing the server, purchasing the storage, purchasing the network devices, integrate all of them, purchase OS license. So you have to spend a lot of upfront investment. You have to do a lot of upfront investment. So that is called capital expenditure. But the cloud model by default, it is pay as you go model. So whatever you are consuming, it is consumption based model, which is nothing but operational expense model. So whatever you are consuming and using for your application, you need to just pay for those as an operational expenditure model. So the other three model, elastic expenditure model, scalability model, and this one capital expenditure model. Capital expense model is appropriate for your on-premises data center. But these are all just filler words. So these are all answer no. The correct answer is operational expenditure model. So next question is, you are tasked with deploying a critical line of business application which will be installed on a virtual machine to Azure. So customers has informed you that their application needs 99.99% availability. See, 99.99% availability can be achieved only when you have virtual machine across different data centers. So availability zone is data center in Azure concept. Availability set is a different rack in Azure concept. And if you're running one virtual machine, you will get only 99.90 SLA, service level availability. But if you're running two virtual machines in two different rack, you will get 99.95. But customer needs 99.99. So in such case, you need to create two virtual machines and you have to have those two in two different availability zone. Only then you can achieve 99.99. See why these two options are wrong. You include two virtual machine, but what they have mentioned, one availability zone. If you are having only one availability zone, then you cannot achieve 99.99. You will be able to achieve only 99.95. But if you're creating only one virtual machine, then definitely it is 99.90. You cannot achieve it. So answer is, you need to create two virtual machine and place them in two different availability zone so that you can get 99.99. Answer is this. Okay, so next one is, you are required to deploy an artificial intelligence solution and also you want to deploy a predictive analytics solution. See, in the answer you can do a elimination criteria. See here, if you go with this question or this option, they are saying like make use of Azure Cosmos DB. See, Azure Cosmos DB is not a AI solution. It is a kind of fully managed NoSQL database, not only SQL database. So that means this is not the right answer. And even the other logic application or Azure Batch, they cannot give you predictive analytics or artificial intelligence solution. The only option is Azure Machine Learning Designer. So you might either get questions like yes or no option, or you might also get the same question in a choose the best option. So all the questions in the exam is a multiple choice or yes or no option. Okay, so here Machine Learning Studio or Machine Learning Designer. So this is the tool that is used for building, testing, and deploying predictive analytics solution. So this is the right answer. See, Microsoft Azure exam will only test you about the knowledge about that product. You don't have to have real implementation skills or you don't have to have designing skills. You just need to understand what product is for what is the purpose of that, only that much. Okay, next question is, your company want you to create a number of Azure resources, but they have to be identical and they also have to be created automatically. See, these are the two key pointers in the question. So if you want to deploy automatically and identically, then you need to go for template approach. So using Azure ARM template, you can directly go and deploy the solution, or you can use the ARM template to create and manage the Azure resources automatically as well as in an identical way. So rest of the solutions, why they are not suitable? Azure API management, it is not for creating or deploying resources. It is for connecting API gateways or API solution. So it is not the right answer. And the next one is they are giving an option called you recommend management groups. This is also not the right answer because management group is mainly for governance management to bring multiple subscription into one governance umbrella. So the right answer is ARM templates. Azure Resource Manager template is used for creating resources automatically as well as in an identical manner because we are creating it using template. Okay, next question is your company's developers intend to deploy a large number of custom virtual machine on a weekly basis, and this is developers, and they will also be removing these virtual machine on a same week, so they're not going to run it for a longer duration. Okay, point clear. And they also want these virtual machine to be Windows Server operating system, not Windows client. So these are the keywords that you need to look at, and if you look at the answer, they have given one option as Azure reserved virtual machine instances. So reservation, we generally go for long-term instances. If you want to run the virtual machine for 1 year or 3 year, then going for reservation makes sense. But here they create the VM and in the same week they will delete it. So reservation is not the right answer. And the next option is Microsoft Managed Desktop. See, desktop is not suitable for Windows Server operating system. So this is also not the right answer. So the right answer is Azure Dev Test Lab because this is for development environment and they're asking for Windows Server. Using Dev Test Lab, you will get a lot of cost beneficiary stuff. So again, here they are talking about only development stage. Next one is your company's Active Directory forest includes thousands of user account and you have been informed that all the network resources will be migrated to Azure. So if you want to migrate them to the Azure platform and if you want to decommission the on-premises data center, then Azure Active Directory is the right solution. That is the answer. See, I'll tell you what. So here, if you go to the exam, you will not find the questions like this. So instead, you will be seeing the question like a group of questions. Just for an example, I'll search for this and then I'll show you how it looks like. See, this is how it will be. So you will have a group of question under one topic and they will say these question is included in a number of question and all those blah blah things, and don't worry about those. But the actual question is here and the actual solution that they are giving is this one. So here, if you look at this one, so they want the systems to be created and they want to delete it on the same week. So which means reservation is not the right answer. So you have to select no as the option. Similarly, next one, they are giving Azure Dev Test Lab. So this is correct answer. Yes, you have to choose. And similarly for the next question, they are giving the another option where they are saying, what is the option? Managed, Microsoft Managed Desktop. So that is also not the right answer. So you should choose the answer no. So in real exam, you will get under all these questions under the same topic and you have to choose yes or no for each of the question. So in reality, we have discussed almost close to 20 questions in a combined way, in a grouped manner. Okay, so we'll catch up on the next part where I will start to discuss a little more on the exam questions, and I will stay in touch. Thank you for joining and listening.